Okay, let's try to go on with our code here for Sqlite. And so let me open the last file that we made. Okay, if you remember, we had this, and we must add these other two tables to our code, because we just we were at this point here. With creation of root tk and starting of the class, and then root main loop here. So win1 is not defined. So let's create the class win. The class win1 derived by win, and the class win2 Okay, now it works. But we have still to do something. Okay, in the class win, we are going to put these list fields. This will be used for to create the fields or records field. In the table, in the basis table. So we'll have, I will explain this later. Then we are going to put into this class the common function for both the two windows. So we will have to show the database name and we will, for each file in all the file that ends with database in our folder, we will insert them into a list box. Then we will have other functions this is in common because we will use the list box in two windows. So we wanna also put the list box here, and we will create a list box with the usual widget in tkinter, that is tk.listbox, that will be attached to the root, and then we will have self we will make it visible, and we are gonna show these files, but we can also make our code a little more less complicated. Okay, putting the so here the listbox function, what does? Create a listbox, make it visible, create a listbox, make it visible, and insert all the database file in the listbox. That's what this listbox does. And so for now we want to leave it like this. I put this into this win class because I will use this listbox function in both these windows. So let me go into the win1. For the win1, we are gonna define its dunder init function with self and root, and this will be called by, when we push this button here, you see it will go, it will create a button and we'll pass this class. We could also have made something simpler. If we want, we could have made it this way. If you don't want to use this thing here, if you prefer, we can make it this way. There we are. It's the same. Maybe there are less lines, but perhaps a little less readable, maybe, but also a little shorter. Let me see. Okay, now that in the first window, what we're gonna do is to self.root, create the root here that has been passed by here. As you can see, when we click on the button, we will go into this function here and we will create a new window that is called self new, and then we go into the class, this class here, and we pass this window here. Okay, makes sense. We are creating a new window in few words. So left.root, we give it a geometry that we want. We want this not to be maybe too big. Well, maybe 400. We will see if it's right, this dimension here. Okay, and then we can give it a color. For now, let's leave it this way. We just wanted to add the list box that we seen here. We can give it a title, so to distinguish it, and we can call it create data database. So here it is. We get our list box, right? The name create database, and we should put a label onto this maybe that says that this is a database. So let's make it self lab listbox equal tk dot label, and the text will be, this is always attached to Selfroot, and text will be database in the folder, and then we have to pack this. There is a mistake, no attribute label. Got to put a capital letter here. Here it is, database in the folder. And as we want to use it for both these windows, let's copy the code here. Let's change, want to make it this longer, and but I want to use the list box also into the second window. So let's go. The first one is this, create database, and the second one is this. But the second window will be made to create tables. So even if we will have a list box in both this, we will have two different use. This is just to create a database. This is to make the tables that will go into the database. So let's close this and this, and so we got the basic scheme. Now we have to add the other widgets. We just have them into the other version. In the previous version, I can make you see. We had all the widgets, so we want do it the writing of all this. This is not the, this is the version I want to show you, where all the widgets were in the same table. If you prefer, you can use this, but as I want to make it more clear, I decided to divide it into two or more windows, so we can go and take a previous version, complete, yeah. Here we got the code just divided into, but a little different. We could take something by the older code or write them again step by step to make you see how to build this app. Okay, so in the created database now we need to add back what we had in this version here. We have to this label and this entry widgets for now. So let's go here, and these are the label and the entry. Let's copy this code and let's put it into the first window. So we have the label and the entry, but we want to just do it in one step and call this label and entry. For now, want to make all the code very clear. This will be used only on Win1, so we will not put it inside of this. Okay, we got our label and window here, but we wanna it up before, and here it is. Create a database, insert the name. Now we just wanna see what is the function that is used to make it work. I think there was a button, or we can avoid the button using the bin method. So let me close this. Let me check the button here. Let me copy the button and put it in here. And we can also put everything into this one, and we can create this widget to create a database. Let me write it here so that I will remember. Okay, now it's clear that we have, but if it's not clear, I want to write it here. A label a Listbox, a button. Okay. This is what, okay, to explain what is this. A label, I call it L. A Listbox, that I call it, oh sorry, an entry, not a Listbox. Self.e, and a button called self.b. Okay. And now we got also the button here. Now what we gotta do is to add this make database function here. We need it just here for this window, so we won't put it in the common window, neither here. So let me go and take this function we made before. We don't want to rewrite everything. I think we explained it in the other lesson. So this is practically to create a database. You just, the most important one is this con equal light.connect database that will create the database, and then it will insert the name of the database into the list box, and then we close it. This line here just clears the entry with the database name. And okay, this is not the entry. This is the string var linked to the entry. To explain this, if you don't know it yet, I want to say that the string var, let me check this one, the string var is this self db equal tk string var is a special string object that is linked to the entry, as you can see here, text variable equals self db, so that in this variable here we can get the value that we insert into this. So when I write something in here, it will be into this db variable. You can check it also here, but if you wanna then clear this the value into this, you have to use this method here. I'll let you see here, that is db.set. So when we want to clear what is inside the entry here, when I want to clear it, I'm gonna do db.set and with the apostrophes with nothing inside, and then this line closes the database. These lines here are just to add the .db when we forget to put the, because we, for example, if we create a database, we should do bookdb and create the database, because the database ends with this. But if we forget to put database and we create the database, it will create the same it will add automatically the database with this code here that checks if it ends with this, if it ends with database, i.e. if we already wrote it, it does nothing. Instead, if we forget it, it adds to the name the .db. And the try, accept, and finally is useful to see if there is no error. It will just create the database and insert it in the list box. Instead, if there is an error, it will print what the error is, and at the end it will finally, when this block is passed, it will close the database and will clear the entry where we insert the name of the database. Okay, so let's see if it works. Until now we create a database that we call books. We will not put the db here, and we will create it, and you see that it has been inserted into the list box with the .db at the end, even if we didn't write it. Let's go and let's check this one. If you go into the other window, you see that there is just the list box, and you find the book in our database. Okay, so until now we have done it. It's all right. So we want to stop for now here, and next time we will insert the other widget, explaining them one by one, very quietly, so that we can understand, and we will adjust a little bit the code as we go on. See ya.